Okay, how to retrieve this love and affection, which is so pure, Okay, this is what I so oftentimes shared with some of you. Once I was with my brother, and my brother had a very young boy, young son, and a young daughter. The daughter may be 4 years old, the son may be 7 years old. And two of us spent time together since childhood, me and my brother. And we know each other so well, and then we don't take any offense. And after many years, we were meeting once more with his two children. Then two children were very young, playing. And then I very casually said something. Oh, you should have done it this way, right? I said, like, I did not say anything else. I simply said, oh, you should have done it this way. Then I saw drama there. The young girl, age 4, just hearing that from this unknown person, the uncle, unknown person, she was so panicked to hear that such a thing is being said to my father. But then she could not do anything. Just 4 years old, right? And then what did she do to console? What she do? She slowly went into the laps of the father and sat there and hugged him. And the young boy, age 7, what he did? He just went from behind and hugged the father from behind. And seeing that sight, wow, enough now. So in future, whenever there is the parents and the children, I should just keep check with my mouth. I should not say anything offensive, be it very small, be it just trivial. I should not say it hurts the children. So just imagine, look at the dynamics. The two children embracing the father. And just imagine what is going in the mind of the father. Just me, I could feel the pain of the two children. And the father just multiplied that several times. The pain the father could feel, seeing that the pain of the two children. So from there, then I decided not to say anything when it comes to, even if the parents, they are behaving so badly, but in front of the children, no. To protect, to guard the sentiments of the children, right? So imagine, you are that child and your father. So when you're experiencing that pain, and then feeling, embracing the father, at that point, is there any room for anger, hostility, and so forth towards your father? No room. No room for anger. No room for hostility. No room for hatred. Right? The moment you feel that, the pain, the corrosion of anger, the corrosion of hatred, corrosion of jealousy, all dissolve. So the corrosion, anger, hatred, jealousy, they give such a pain in you. They give such a corrosion, unhappiness, agitation within you. They all have no room when you feel this genuine love and affection. Okay, now what I'm saying is that when you are a child, like this tender age 4, 7, no doubt we all display the similar love and affection towards our parents. Now that seed remained dormant. And then you feel dormant due to what? Because we feel that we are now self-sufficient. Then we feel that we are not vulnerable anymore. We feel that we don't need that love and affection anymore. So that seed had remained dormant. At the same time, we're not happy as that young child. As that young child is happy in front of the two parents. We're not as happy now. But what do we want is we want the maximum happiness. So now, with this knowledge, it is high time for us to rethink how to bring back this happiness. So that is, by taking that as a model, your experience as a very young child, and experience of maximum happiness in the laps of your mother, when the mother gives you embrace. So what makes me so happy at that point is the feeling of the love. Okay, now whether or not there is a way by which we can we can create this sense of intensity of love within you today. If you could do that, then that is the possibility of extracting the greatest of the happiness. Say, if you are in a workplace where there is 100 people, and of the 100, only 10 people are you feel so close to, and the remaining 90, they are so averse to you, right? Are you happy? You're not happy. And then if you move to another place where the workplace with 100 people, and then 50 people, they love you, and 50 may not. Are you happy? Much happier as compared to the earlier one. Then the next one, where there is 100 people and everyone loves you. You're happy, not happy. Now it is your home. This is a place where you feel yourself at home. Likewise, we all have the capacity to make the whole world your home. Simply learn how to invoke this compassion, love, and affection which you experienced when you are a tender child. Just invoke that seed and make this affection, love and affection not confined to one person, but be pervasive to all. If there is a way by which we can do that, when you can spread this love to all, right? Then you get the love and affection from all. And you may not believe in it. It's very simple. The only thing is that we need to be little reaching out to see what is the world, what's around the world. Look at His Holiness the Dalai Lama today. Look at His Holiness the Dalai Lama today. He does not have to go out and tell the people that I love you, I love you, I love you. He does not have to do that. He simply goes out and shows his face. Right? And how many thousands and millions of people love him? Right? So which means that for him, this world is the best of the home for him. Of course, he is not in his country. But then, for him, more than those leaders who have their own countries, for him, this is the greatest of the home for him. Because everybody loves him. Right? So likewise, we all have that capacity to do the same. We all have the capacity. What we want is, if somebody asks you, you want to be as popular as His Holiness the Dalai Lama? We'll say, oh, of course, if it's possible, yes, I'd like to, right? Right? But then, can we or not? We can. We all have the ability. How? Simply, what makes him so special? Just explore that. He became so special because of his unconditional love for the humanity, for the sentient beings. It's not just confined to one person. It's not just confined to one ethnicity. It's not just confined to one religion. But it's pervasive to all, everyone. Right? Okay. In fact, to tell you one anecdote, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and in his residence, he has bodyguards. What is the job of the bodyguard? To protect what? Protect him. But many of the bodyguards, their job is not to protect him, to protect the birds. Right? Many of the bodyguards of His Holiness, their job is not to protect His Holiness. Their job is to protect the birds. Why? In his area, His Holiness is so observant of each and every creature there. Each and every creature. So where there are some tiny birds, weaker birds, and the bigger birds, they come to attack the weaker ones, His Holiness would put, guard there to make sure that the weaker birds are not attacked. Right? You wouldn't believe that. That's very true. So their job is to protect the birds. Right? And the bigger birds, they come, they have to shoot the air gun to distract the bigger birds. Right? And their job is simply to wait there to take care of that. Right? So likewise. So this is what makes him so special. And this is what we all can. And there are specific techniques there are specific techniques to cultivate that quality. So these two techniques, those of us who already attended this class since the beginning, we realized that there are two methods. There are two very standard methods to cultivate the unconditional love for all. And the moment you feel that, the moment you experience a tinge, just a tinge of this joy, just a tinge of this love, the joy that you feel far excels the joy of anything else. This is so precious, so precious. In fact, we all seek love. We all seek happiness. And the real happiness, if you want, don't expect the world to give you happiness. Start your happiness. Start it from yourself. Start from yourself. Finally, the happiness is attracted by the love that you feel within. Happiness is attracted by the love that you feel from within. So this love towards others. And if your love is confined towards 10 people, maximum you will get 10 affection, 10 happiness. Whereas if you make it towards everyone, then the infinite love, infinite affection will come back to you. That becomes the infinite happiness. What we want is infinite happiness. So our job is to see how much we can practice this. And in the process of the practice, of course, this is going to be a little challenging. In the process of the practice, we see that as you grow, as you see yourself growing in this quality, as you see yourself growing in this quality, and some people, right, only when there's a discussion of philosophy, they're excited. Actually, this is the most unwise person. What this person is seeking is happiness. And at the same time, when the real source of happiness can be discussed, the person is not interested, right? So the person is not interested in the cause of happiness, where the person is interested to have the happiness. So how can you get happiness without embracing the cause of happiness, right? So therefore, cultivating love and affection, this is so precious. And some people, particularly some of the males, some of the men, they may think that love and happiness, this is all the girl's job. This is where the man is going wrong. This is where the man is going wrong, right? Because men, they also like happiness, right? Only when we feel this, a tinge of unconditional love, which does not know the border, which transcends the border. Your family, others' family, no difference. There's no border there. Everyone, just as I like happiness, just I want love and affection from any person, whether the near and dear ones or neutral. Likewise, all others, they also need the same thing. They're also the same. And then you share this, then what you actually feel is such a tranquil, such a profound experience of happiness, right? Which could have easily slipped from your mind had it not been the case that you practice this unconditional love for others. Okay, so therefore, this is so precious. And I like to, before we start the meditation, I like to share with you what the Bodhisattva Shantideva said in this book about the benefit of cultivating this unconditional love. It says that, and in the monastic universities, big monastic universities, where they debate on the ultimate what constitutes the ultimate reality, the philosopher Nagarjuna, the logic, epistemology, psychology, they debate all this profound philosophy, trying to tease apart the subtle nuances of the different philosophical schools. And then every time they conclude the debate, they recite some very auspicious stanzas on bodhicitta, very auspicious stanzas on unconditional love said by the great authors such as the Bodhisattva Shantideva. And if you read his text, chapter 9, you might think that this is so complicated text. And perhaps the author, he may be so arrogant because of his brilliance. He's so brilliant, maybe so arrogant. If I go there, he may not even just look at me. And then reading chapter 8, reading chapter 1, reading chapter 10, your mind will simply melt into submission. Wow, this is such a great, affectionate author, great, affectionate saint, right? So the point that I'm trying to make here is that what this author said is that, say, what we have, if you think very carefully, if we explore ourselves so well. Okay, now sit comfortably and let's explore very quickly. Let's explore very quickly. Let's explore very quickly. Okay. Say, okay, follow my instructions and see if you could intellectually delve into what I am guiding you. Okay. Say you are reflecting and you are in Tibet House. So what makes you think that you are sitting here? It is my body. It is my body which is present in this. So therefore, people see me as sitting here in the conference hall of Tibet House. And then, when I go out, I may talk to the taxi driver. I may talk to the people who are present here. I may talk to my parents. I may talk to my friends, like this. That is my speech. My speech. And then when I'm by myself, I may think about emptiness, I may think about unconditional love and so forth. That is my mind. So what I am, all my activities, all my gestures can be subsumed under three categories: physical, verbal, and mental. And besides these three, there's no single gesture, there's no single movement, there's no single activity which can be ascribed to me. That's very true. Okay. And overall speaking, this physical body that I have, the speech that I have, and the mind which I have, with the physical body, overall speaking, this physical body, this is so fragile, it can easily become sick, and headache, hunger, thirst, and ailments, and so forth. They're all connected to this body. So this body is it has so many limitations, it has so many drawbacks. And this is applied of this body, which is simply but the embodiment of defilement, embodiment of weakness. Okay. Now what about my speech? The speech, under normal situation, 80, say 60, in many cases, 60, 70, 80% of my speech is all useless, all just senseless conversations, idle gossips. Besides what I study about bodhicitta, emptiness, and so forth, if thinking about how my mind flows in its natural course, it is usually in a very unhealthy way: attachment, anger, jealousy, competitiveness, feeling lonely, and so forth, depressed, anxiety, and so forth. Okay, now with body, speech, mind, in the case of ordinary person like myself, they are all very defiled, very defiled. They're very defiled. In fact, if they are just ordinary pieces of objects, they are to be dumped. Okay. At the same time, the Buddha's body, speech, and mind, the body is radiant with 32 major signs of divinity and 80 minor signs of divinity. So these mark the Buddha's body. So splendid, so exquisite, so perfect. Buddha's speech is adorned with 60 limbs of melody, 60 limbs of perfection. And anything which the Buddha utters is so meaningful, beneficial, none is of go waste. And the mind is the greatest of the purity of the mind is that of the Buddha's mind, filled with unconditional love, expansive love, with a wisdom incomparable. That is the Buddha's mind. Okay, the hopeless body, speech, mind that I have, and the brilliant, omniscient body, speech, mind of the Buddha, there's such a stark contrast between the two. But the bodhicitta, unconditional love for all other sentient beings, if I could cultivate that, if I could cultivate this unconditional love towards all sentient beings, that becomes like a gold-making elixir. Gold-making elixir. The mere touch, the mere applying of this gold-making elixir to the ordinary metals to be dumped, all these useless metals, they turn into gold, so precious. This is exactly what happens to the bodhicitta. Bodhicitta, which is like a gold-making elixir, when it comes in contact, when I cultivate that with myself, because of this practice of bodhicitta, my body, the useless, the hopeless body, becomes the very pure, pristine quality body of the Buddha. So perfect, so pure. And my hopeless speech becomes the speech, unobstructed speech of the Buddha, the speech of the wisdom emptiness, speech of enlightenment. And my mind, which is so polluted, defiled, that becomes the most pure mind of the Buddha, omniscient mind, the clear-light nature of the clear-light nature becoming fully manifest, the Buddha's mind, full of compassion, unconditional love, and the wisdom of emptiness. Why not I cultivate this unconditional love? Why not I cultivate the bodhicitta? Okay, with that in mind, okay, slowly come out of this reflection, before we start the actual meditation on bodhicitta. Okay, just take a half a minute rest. In half a minute, then we will do the bodhicitta meditation very quickly, and say those of us who have time, I would very much encourage you to do this practice on a daily basis. But if you don't do this, say you may make commitment, and then one day you may not be able to do that, and then there is no penalty. You don't have to worry, right? Usually, when you are committed to something, if you lose the consistency, then there is some kind of not really penalty, known as the infractions happening. But then here there's no commitment as such. Simply my just kind of suggestion that it is good that if you can do this, right? And then should you be able to do it in a consistent, depending on the availability of time, you can spend a half an hour, 40 minutes, if not like 10 minutes is also good enough to do this practice. You can do it pretty quickly. And then on the weekends, or when you have more free time, then you can do like half an hour or 40 minutes, 1 hour, like that. Okay. So that way you will get personal experience. You will get a personal experience, very profound joy. And then from deep inside, I constantly tell people that love means your mind flows. And the opposite of love is anger, selfishness. So there is some kind of knot you could feel at your heart. You could feel it. And then as you practice more, you see that this knot slowly unentangles, right? You could feel that. It may take time, and depending on what your karmic propensities are, or how much you are habituated in this practice in formal lives, we never know. In some cases, it could be very fast. In some cases, it could be a little more time taking. The thing is that we have to practice. And it takes me so long. If you think that it takes you so long, you stop it, and then it will keep you even longer. Right? If you do something, at least you get closer. So closer is better than longer. Right? So this is, and finally, when you start experiencing the joy out of cultivating this unconditional love for others, then time doesn't matter for you, because you can feel the joy. When you feel the joy, longer the time, happy you are. Happy you are. So this is so important, right? So this is what I like to share with you. And should you feel the constraint of time, then I would say that do it 5 minutes. 5 minutes, quickly with the moon and Vajra practice. Those of you who are not familiar with moon and Vajra practice, Tibet House, we have the recordings of that session, and then you can learn it. First, when learning it, it'll take a little time, and then once you're used to that, you can do it just within as short time as 5 minutes. Okay. Now, with that in mind, let's do the Bodhicitta meditation. There are two methods. What we're going to do is just the second method of equalizing and exchanging self for others. So this method is what we're going to do. And those of you who are not, who did not attend this class on the 9 points. 9 points. What I'm doing is we are doing the guided meditation. It's going to be guided, and then from your side, if you could remember the points, well and good. If you remember the points, then see that what I'm saying and then what you're doing, they tally. Whereas if you don't remember, or if you have not attended this class before, then simply listen to me and then follow your mind according to the instructions, and then see how much you can invoke the respective experiences, right? Be in the present moment. Be in the present moment, meaning that simply try to follow the instruction. Don't anticipate for the future, and don't indulge in the past memories, or don't indulge in the past memories.